I'm going to take a step back. And this studio is, oops, we'll zoom out. This studio can be a mess. So if you look around, this place just looks like there's stuff everywhere. And it's our job to put in the frame something interesting and to set it up all in the time that we have available. And a lot of times it's a cleanup and then a setup and then a start shooting. So I started trying to shoot the video I'm currently working on, and I was like, well, I'm a little bit shaky, so why don't I use this tripod here and clamp my phone in. So we have these cell phone clamps, and I'm a little wobbly, so I'll have to take the tripod plate out of the tripod and tighten up on the bottom here, and then clip back into the tripod, past the safety, and secure it in place. And then I was like, well, I want to shoot this video, but then I was like, uh-oh, if you look down here, I'm bumping into the tripod. So this tripod has some pretty cool features that you can take this pedestal off. I was going to use it because it's a quick pedestal height adjustment. If you loosen this, and then you can like go up and down all with one knob instead of 3 tripod legs. But what I'll do is down the bottom here, there's a little button that I gotta press. Pull that off. So here's that little button that I just pressed to get it off the tube. And then I'm gonna unlock this pedestal lock, take this guy off, get this tripod out of the way. And now I can get closer to this rig if I mount it on a C-stand. So we're gonna use the C-stand clamp it in. Let's see how we got. Yep, we can see it in camera. Clamp it up. All right. Okay. And then we want to put the weight of this arm over top of that leg. If you put it in the middle of the leg, it likes to fall over. So you got to put it over top of the leg, and then it won't fall over. And even safer is to put a sandbag on top of it. So we have sandbags behind the blue curtains. I'll grab the sandbag. And you put a sandbag on top of the big leg, and the big leg makes it so the sandbag isn't touching the floor. It's kind of hanging all of its weight on top of the metal so that this thing is very secure. So now I have a little rig that if I move all the way up to, I can even zoom in a click here and get really tight on this screen of what I'm trying to show you guys. So I'm adjusting the tripod to get everything nice and neat in my frame, in this camera's frame, and then I have this camera, and in its frame we're seeing the wall, we're seeing some of the curtain. So I chose, all right, I'm going to do this audio tutorial video. I don't want a busy background, so I'm going to use a blue curtain. And then I might even take a light underneath the blue curtain up in the air. So here's a light that's patched back here, and I can turn it on. And then aim it up in the air above, up the curtain. So uplighting does some pretty cool things for architecture. So there we have this like glowy thing going on in the background that'll be much more subtle once I frame up. But it's kind of busy, so I'm like narrowing down, and then I'm going to take my setup here, so I'll back it up so we can kind of see how I'm going to set this shot. I'm going to just move around a little bit, and then I have on my lens a zoom, so I can zoom. Right now I'm at 24 millimeters, and if I zoom to, let's see if I can see that better, 50 millimeters, so now the 50 is on the line, and it cleaned up my shot. So I go, here's my 24 millimeters, here's my 50 millimeters, and that's almost the shot, but I'm seeing some dangly stuff at the bottom here, and I'm seeing the bottom, and I kind of don't want to see this whole table rig. So what I'm going to do is probably drop my pedestal height down, tilt up a little bit, and then maybe push forward so I'm closer to the table, and then maybe I can use my zoom to zoom out a little bit. So I'm really designing everything within this frame so it looks as neat as I possibly can and balanced on both sides. So now now this tripod is too high, so I'm gonna have to make it lower. And now this is a little bit more challenging because I have 3 different legs to get my height correct. Instead of a 1 knob adjustment, I'm using 3 levers that are a little sticky, so that's why they're squeaking and kind of hard to crank. But now I can get pretty close to this camera and we can kind of arrange this shot. So I probably want to have it nice and balanced. And we have all this stuff on our screen, so if we hit the info button, I can turn things on and off. So there's a clean, nothing on the screen kind of shot, and I can see everything within my frame, and it looks nice and neat, except for the curtain in the background. Looks kind of funky with how this light is positioned and some of the crinkles. So you pay attention to every detail in every shot that you ever create, whether it's a photograph or a video. And then all these little things, like little slight movements of things, make the shot.